Okay, so I will be mostly covering the part where we gonna integrate our ALM with Tosca. Okay, so once like Abdul have told you guys mostly that how the automation actually work and how we can actually integrate with SAP ALM, I will just simply go on the SAP uh, side. Okay, okay. Let me open my portal. Okay, so this is how actually once the Tricentis is connected with your ALM, so you can easily access Tricentis dashboard. Okay, within that Tricentis dashboard, you can go create your new test cases. Mostly the test cases works in a modular way within Tricentis, and you have to either use Xscan, that is a third-party plugin which comes with Tricentis as a plugin within your browser. You can use that to record your screen or capture the elements on your screen, or either you can actually use all these predefined modules that are already in the system. For example, if you have to just simply log in within your SAP environment, SAP S/4HANA cloud environment, so you will just look for maybe login module. There we already have a login module available. So in the login module, you will add it. You will provide all the details like client information, what client it is. Either client means basically the application that is under test. Either it's a dev environment with a code 100 or 200 or 300. 200 is for test environment. So you will put all those details like a username, password, and the language in which the environment is. For English, you will put EN. And with this enter, like there are fields. Maybe you guys know about standard terms of clicking and send keys where we are inserting some data. So similarly, this also works. Like for example, when I have to call the operation enter, I will click on this drop down button and I will also call the operation. I can select click operation or maybe double click. Similarly, if we have already a test case recorded, so I will just go into one of the existing pre-built test cases where we are just doing a simple cash flow or sales order creation. Okay, so these are one few of the modules that either I have used from the pre-built existing modules, or I have recorded the module from my ongoing application that is under test. If I expand all of these and I will just give some space to the screen. Okay, so now you can see that I am from the starting point where I'm accessing the URL. From there, I'm providing the application under test as a string. Okay, and then if I have to use the same tab in which I'm opening or my browser is active, I can use that by setting a flag value of true within this. And then I have to do all these record, like either I use these pre-built modules, but I have to enter all these parameters and details which is kind of a complex to automate for an end user or a product user or a tester even. So once we do these, so we have to record all these modules. And once that is run, we can actually run our test case either from the Tosca instance as well, or we can trigger this job from SAP ALM as well. In case we have to run it from SAP ALM, then there is another module that comes in, which is my agents. Okay, so I have to configure different agents. As of now, I have configured only one agent, but in case I have to scale up my testing, I will configure and keep on adding these environments or agents where I can run my test cases in parallel or sequential manner. Okay, I will go back to my SAP ALM. ALM. Yeah, this is my launchpad. Okay, so within the ALM, it's not just about creating a test case. It's a complete journey which start from the very first phase of requirements. Okay, once we have the requirements, then we actually can process and proceed further. As you can see that this is the ALM quick links. Okay, within these quick links, the journey basically start from the process where we define it, then the requirement phase comes in, and within the requirement, after once requirement is finalized, then we go into the test preparation phase. And within test preparation, we create the test cases. First, it's in the review process. Then once we mark it as a prepared, then we can actually run the test cases. Okay, once the test cases is created, like Abdul showed previously, when we are creating, we have multiple test providers. Okay, in test automation tool, that is with the TTA. In that case, we have selected a different provider. But in case of Tricentis Tosca, we have a Tricentis adapter provider available. We will select that and create the test case accordingly. Okay, going back to one of the test case that we have, okay, which is around the cash flow. Okay, so once I click on the test case, I can see what's the status of my test case. Is it prepared? If I have to now navigate from ALM to my existing test case, I will just simply click on this test case and it will open all my test steps. Okay. While executing, I will just run the test case and it will launch my new instance. And it will also initiate my test agent and schedule the whole run. Okay. So yeah. So once I run it, it will execute. Okay. How the runs look like, we can visualize those as well. Right now, it's actually running on the other browser. Just a second. Let me log out from this instance. Okay. So just minimizing it, and I will rerun it. Okay. Okay, so it's now gonna run it on its own. The process I'm gonna show you that it's a login process going into my sales, create sales order, and it will complete it. But the execution will take time. It will go module by module, and it once the module is initiated, it will proceed little faster. But the overall execution and the running of the test case will take ample time when we are running it. So right now, if we go on the sales, create sales order. So this is the sales orders that we're gonna create. Once the execution is done, if I go back into my execution phase, okay, so this test, I think it was not executed completely, but we can actually debug it and see what was the cause of the failing, what actually caused it. So it's gonna show me the failing. Okay, reason no matching tab. Okay, so maybe the matching tab, the title of the tab, create sales order, it was not able to rectify that where it is located. So the auto healing process also is not kind of a supported within Tosca when we run it from SAP. Yeah, so this is how actually we record a test or create a test in Tosca with the modules, and then from ALM we can run it, or from even Tosca dashboard we can run it. If you guys have any questions around this, how to integrate it with the SAP ALM, how to run Tosca test cases in sequential or parallel manner on the agent, so I will be more than happy to answer it. Okay, so we will move on to the next demonstration, which is regarding to the GoTestPro, one of our own product. That in that we will be going to demonstrate few of the use cases, a few of the use cases regarding create sales order from the SAP side and also from the commerce platform side, like an end-to-end test execution. And I will also be demonstrating few of the key features that can actually help or assist the end user or the testers to run the whole end-to-end execution. Just a minute. One of my colleague will share his screen and then we can execute that.
Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Yeah. So till now we discussed about two tools, right? So TTA and TAT. So using those two tools, using those two tools, we'll try to test the is majorly using TAT. We'll try to test only S4 functionality, but using TTA, we'll try to test the other applications as well. But if you're taking the about the
Oh,
configuration and
Madhukar,
other stuff,
your
right?
voice is
If you
echoing,
see,
Madhukar.
it's little bit complicated. So we have one more solution called GTP, the GoTestPro, the in our in-house
Madhukar,
product. So here I'll
Madhukar.
try to show how we can create the test cases and how we can verify and how it will run, and we'll see the results and everything, and how we can schedule this test case, all of the stuff. So uh,
We're getting an echo of your voice.
So for now, right, I created two test cases. One is creating sales order and other is creating purchase order. So this create sales order will be, it will go to S4 and it will try to create the sales order. Um, if I just try to open and run this, right? So yeah, it's just going to S4 and it will try to enter my credentials, and it will try to create the sales order. So I'll try to show you how to create this test case, the process. But for now, time being, I'm just showing the recorded demo. The same test case we have seen when Adnan is explained, right, about creating this sales order. So the same way we are creating, but here the process is different, right? So here we can see how the events are triggering and all other stuff as well for initial development. And if we are facing any issue somewhere, the test case got failed, then we can able to debug that and we can try to fix it. And from that point, we can try to run the test case again. So from the point where it is failed. Yeah, you can see that sales order is created and it's saved. So it's showing that the execution is complete. If we clicking on save, right? So then we can see that test results. Here we have the results tab. So where we can see last test case is created. So this is the create sales order. So it ran, how much time it took to execute, and where it is ran, the browser, and what and all events, right? So each and everything it will capture all the steps, how it's captured, and which steps it is executed, and everything it is show. So if you want, we can export this as a PDF and other stuff. So this one, if we are taking the example, right? So this is completely, we ran only in the S4 HANA. So now we want to execute from end-to-end perspective, right? Suppose if we are integrating S4 HANA with any commerce system. So for suppose example, take the example of SAP Commerce, right? So in that case, we need to test whether from SAP Commerce endpoint to the S4 HANA. So for that reason, we created this create purchase order test case. So where it will run from our browser. So the user will try to place the order, and he will try to verify whether that order is reached to S4 or not. So all those things, right? So it's complete an end-to-end process. So where the system will work, how we can record the test case, right? Earlier, Jagdish or somebody asked, right? So whether we can integrate with other systems or something. So here we can see, right? So this is the storefront, right? Where e-commerce website where the customer is trying to place an order. So he'll try to place the order. Then once he places the order, we can check whether this respective purchase order is created as sales order in S4 or not. So only the thing is, right? So compared to GTP, TAT and TTA, right? So those things where we need to install them only in their S4 environment, right? But this GoTestPro, it is cloud-based solution. So where we can have the system ready and they can easily try to configure it and easily we can adapt this actually. So here we can see, right? So this test case got failed because of the timeout. So when we are submitting to the payment gateway, right? So we got the timeout. So that's the reason it got failed. So now we can see. So here the test case got failed, right? So we can figure it out why it got failed, and then we'll try to fix this test case, and we can run it again, and it will solve if you are saving this run, right? So it will, if we go to the test results, it will show why this test case got failed, right? So what is the reason if I open this, right? In which step it got failed and everything, it will try to log in. So here we can see, right? So it's not able to find out this respective element. So it got failed and all other test cases got skipped over here. And if you want to schedule this test case, right, on daily basis to run this test case, we can create a schedule and we can enable that schedule so that it will try to run in the on daily basis. Yeah. Now I'll over to Adnan so that he can explain more about the GDP. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me go back to the presentation. Okay. While Madhukar was explaining about GoTestPro, with the GoTestPro, it's we can achieve a lot more. Just if we talk about testing, it's not just about a web-based testing. So if you guys are doing any sort of a backend testing, so you can actually automate the backend scenarios also with your GoTestPro. And okay, I will just cover up. We have already covered this slide. And this one also done. Okay, so if I talk about, is my screen visible to you guys? Okay, so if I talk about the major comparison or the key differentiators between Tosca, TAD, and GoTestPro, so every tool has its own pros and cons. But in a from a tester's perspective, we are focused on few areas. Either it's a reusability, modular approach, or how easy the tool is it to use. So I think all these tools have their own pros and cons, but in terms of a usability, we have our recorder available in GoTest Pro, which is a Chromium-based extension. You can download it in your Chrome browser and Microsoft Edge or any browser that is Chromium supported, and you can actually run your end-to-end test automation cycle from recording to your backend testing and making the scenarios more complex through that. In terms of that, there are major other areas where each tool have their own edge over another one. So this is just about explaining how majorly the comparison look likes and where the one tool is leading the other one and how in which areas we can utilize the tool. So if you have any questions, so we can take that, because that was that was the end of the session. And there is one quiz that you guys can, if you can scan this QR code on your screen, which is appearing right now. So there will be few, like 5 or 6 questions will appearing. So if you answer those, so you will have some reward at the end. Meanwhile, I'm more than happy to take any questions. If anyone from the audience have any question regarding these three tools or how they can, or any pain areas that they want to highlight where they are struggling today, and we can assist them in answering those and rectifying those pain areas from these tools or generally from SAP side. Okay. There is one exclusive offer for all the attendees of this event as well. We will be doing a complimentary test assessment for SAP S/4HANA, and we can assess your existing test methodologies and how you guys are testing your current applications under test and which approaches you are following. And in case any of these tools fit in your environment, so we can do this complete assessment with the report, with the gaps highlighting that where we can improvise and improve your existing test process, how we can increase your test execution, reduce the manual testing, and all those areas which are not tested properly, and implement a proper quality gates. So if you can scan this QR code, you can get more details on what this assessments look like and what we're going to cover in it. And at the end, from a ROI perspective, what you will be getting from it. Okay, I think that's it from my side and from my team side. And thank you everyone for joining today's session. We will be more than happy to answer any question or queries that comes after this session or within this session that you have came up with. So you can reach out to us and we can answer via email, or we can also schedule up any session to discuss those questions. Thank you.